welcome back to All Black Everything Podcast, where our goal is to empower, educate, and elevate. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Portia, and here at All Black Everything Podcast, we talk about pretty much everything that's black and brown, anything that really has to deal with people of color, as you will. Whether, like I stated before, for any new people, whether we're talking about, black issues, whether we're talking about black excellence, whether we're talking about political, black entertainment, it's all black everything. So, like I said, we talk about everything black, anything that really just deals with people of color. I hope everyone had a great weekend. My weekend was pretty chill. Didn't do too much of anything. Took my kids to see the new Candyman, and I must say they were super scared, as I thought they would be. Candyman. Look, my daughter who helps me with the recording, she looking at me like, no, Mom, don't do it. So anyway, we had a great time. I had a great time with my babies. And I also want to say shout out to my daughter. We call her Ziggy. Shout out to Ziggy's friend, Miss Jade, for coming up with this Black History Girls group that my daughter's also a part of. So, at their school, it's predominantly, white, which is cool and everything like that. But basically, in the suburbs or in schools where there's limited people of color, a lot of times they don't have an outlet to express themselves. They don't have things like Black History clubs. They don't have things like majorette dancing and different things of that nature. So I thought that it was cool and pretty dope that, my preteen is so interested in it, and her friend is, came up with this idea because while there are a lot of young ladies running rampant, as you will, the fact that is their focus, I think that's awesome. So I just had to shout them out. So, hey, Black History Girls group, how you doing? So, as far as recent news, what's been going on to the recent news? So let's get down to the nitty gritty of it. So, Michael K. Williams, aka Omar from The Wire, he died on Monday, 54 years old. It does appear to be from, an overdose. Rest in peace to his family. There's a lot of people that are getting, that are going too soon, whether it's from COVID or some type of addictions or, suicide or whatever the case may be. We're losing a lot of our people too soon. We're losing people in general too soon. So I want to say rest in peace to his family. I definitely think that we need to speak with our children more about the effects of drug use. Like, I know when I was coming up in school, I don't know if this is only for Illinois or if all of the whole country had the ability to be a part of it, but we had this program called DARE. And what was it? D, I won't do drugs. A, won't have an attitude. R, I will respect myself. E, I will educate me. But anyway, we had this type of program where it talked to us about the effects of drugs and different things like that. I definitely think in this era we definitely need to speak to our babies about drug use. There's so many songs in entertainment that promote mollies and popping ecstasy, and now in this new generation, it's like popping pills is the new crack epidemic. If you think about the crack epidemic in the 80s and people just kind of being oblivious to the seriousness of crack and how addictive it was. They looked at it like it was a party drug, like they looked at cocaine, which is also bad. But there was a lot of lack of education, and because of that, all of us in our families, anybody that grew up in the that was born in the 80s and grew up in the 90s or whatever, has someone in their family that, suffered from that, Now fast forward to the current generation that we're in now, you have a lot of prescription pill popping, that is the new norm. That is the new crack. They look at it like it's a party drug, People are rapping about it, singing about it, whatever you want to call it, and they think this is cute. And a lot of times there is not a parental figure in the household that just always instructs to the children, like, look, this is entertainment. Like when I was growing up, my dad always used to try, basically tell us, like, look, the music that you're listening to, it's entertainment. I allow you guys to listen to it because you need to know it's entertainment. Just like if you watch the movie, that's entertainment. As long as you know it's entertainment and it doesn't go beyond that, then that's what it is. Now, I know it's easier said than done, but we always need to be emphasizing these things to our children. We always need to be emphasizing to be a leader and not a follower. And, the way that these young kids are popping Zans and Percocets and all of that, it's ridiculous. And actually, recently, there's this big class action lawsuit for one of these opioid pharmaceutical companies because of the opioid crisis. Now, obviously, they didn't do that to the crack crisis. They didn't care because it was being brought to the hoods and that didn't affect them, But, we're living in a generation now, everybody can get their hands on it, and drug addiction has no color. So please, please, please talk to your kids. I know with me, my friends laugh at me, but I kid you not, I actually show before and after pictures of people on drugs. Man, you see how pretty she was? Man, you see she was the prom queen. Now look at her. And I'm not gonna lie, I probably picked the worstest one, like the crystal meth heads and, those ones. I want them to see the real of it, So talk to your babies. Talk to your babies. Now, moving forward, what's actually been catching a lot of flack in the news is, recently Texas has basically put an abortion ban, right? So if a person is 6 weeks pregnant or more, they have made it law that clinics cannot no longer do abortions on individuals. So in order for you to get an abortion, it has to be prior to 6 weeks. Now, I am a woman that has 3 kids. 3 kids that I have back to back to back, okay? And each time I found out around 6 weeks that I was pregnant. So I look at that as the typical norm of when individuals even find out they are pregnant, especially based off of their cycle and all, how all that stuff works. I don't gotta explain that to y'all. So I think that abortion ban is ridiculous. And I know that there are 2 sides where people say, hey, they don't believe in abortion. And then you have other sides where they do believe in abortion, right? And at the end of the day, it's people's opinion. But at the end of the day, the Supreme Court, which upholds law, says that nationally, as far as United States go, abortion is legal. So there has been a lot of back and forth about how Texas basically said, I don't care what the law says. I don't care what the Supreme Court says. In the state of Texas, you're not getting an abortion unless you are less than 6 weeks. Okay? So there right now, I guess, President Biden's administration is actually trying to sue this. So we'll see where that goes and stuff. But what I thought was interesting is that they asked Caitlyn Jenner's perspective on it. And if some of you are not familiar with who Caitlyn Jenner is, he was born Bruce Jenner. He's an Olympic medalist, or was. I don't know if they still held his titles. I didn't research into that because that's, whatever. But I think it's very strange that they're asking him or her, I'm surprised that they're asking Caitlyn Jenner's opinion. I don't think Caitlyn Jenner's opinion matters as it relates to abortion. I just don't. Take a look.
And so I support Texas in that decision. That's their decision. I'm okay with that. But as far as being a woman's right to choose, I don't see.
Essentially outlaws abortion.
I think they have the right in their state.
Now, first of all, again, I'm going to say it again. It's, to me, ridiculous that they asked Caitlyn Jenner's advice. I think it's ridiculous. Furthermore, she's not educated enough to even, on that topic, personal experience-wise or otherwise, to even answer the question. Because if you noticed, when they asked the question, she stated, oh, well, I agree with Texas's right to make their own laws, but I probably think that I would agree that women should have their own rights. It's almost, you backtracked. Regardless of whatever the response was, that's not something that this person should be asking any questions to, and answering any questions to. And before anyone gets all in a frenzy, because I know how, people get sensitive, people can't have opinions anymore. People are all on this, whole, you can't have your own voice. So before people get in a whole frenzy, okay, what I'm saying is just reality, okay? When Michael Jackson wanted to be white, or Rachel Donzel, whatever her name is, wanted to be black, people weren't given that same type of support. And I guarantee you, they would not be going to Rachel to ask her, what is some good hair care treatments that I could use on my hair? Or what's good for black people's skin? They weren't asking anything like that because that's not her forte. She wasn't born a black woman. Just as well as they wouldn't be asking, rest in peace, Michael Jackson, questions that related to white people and their bodies and their genetics and so forth. The same way Caitlyn Jenner, who was born a man and was a man most of his life, to even ask a question related to abortion. That's not something. And to be honest, I honestly feel like the media deliberately does this type of stuff, like almost fish baits people, because they want to get a reaction from other people. Like, they want to get a reaction. Out of all the people that you could have interviewed, you could have interviewed rape victims who went through abortion or didn't go through abortion. You could have asked people who believe that religious-wise, that believe abortions should not even be on the table. Women, but they're all women. There's so many classifications of different women in different groups in different situations that have more valid points to why or why not abortion should be on the table still or should not be on the table still. But you deliberately asked Caitlyn Jenner because you wanted a response. You wanted a response. And let me tell you something. as far as my opinion on it, I believe that women should have a right to, you know, do what's best for them. Morally, I don't think that people should be using it as a contraceptive, but that's just my opinion. Doesn't mean it's right, doesn't mean it's wrong, right? But to have somebody on there that they wanted a reaction. They wanted a reaction. So we can just go ahead and leave that as that. Moving on. There was a recent video that surfaced in regards to a young lady named Nikita Brown. And this happened, I believe, August 28th, right? And this woman was walking her dog on the beach in Chicago, and the police officer came up to her because it was after hours. It was like 12 a.m. and the beach had already closed. Take a look.
And go to jail. Yeah, I will turn my camera on.
That's fine.
Make this an official incident.
That's fine.
Now understand this.
Please respect my space. It's
Respect your
COVID.
space?
6
I'm about to
feet.
put
You do
handcuffs
not
on
have
you.
a mask on.
I don't need a mask. I'm outside.
Now, my problem with this video, just in watching it, it definitely touches me. Actually, me and my friend, we were at the gym working out. They had the news on and they showed the video, and I was telling her, like, man, this could have been us. This could have been us. It bothers me because a young girl walking her dog on the beach is a threat. See, the problem I feel like police officers have, they still have this type of slave mentality where they feel like they can do anything to people of color, and people of color should just bow down to it. You can talk to me any type of way. You can completely forget protocol, which in this case, the protocol, she says, hey, you're not 6 feet from me. You're not social distancing. Really, that was the only argument that she had. And I'll put a link on the whole article so you guys can go ahead and watch it. But that was the only, as far as any type of, you know, pullback, that's the only thing that she had is like, look, you're not 6 feet away. And police officers hate for, you know, black people to challenge them or to tell them anything that's right. So that resulted in him getting aggressive, and you underestimated her and thought that she was whatever stereotype that you know, cast, and, you know, now you're front page. Now you're front page. But the sad thing about it is the man is just on administrative leave when he needs to just be gone. Like, I really, really feel that any type of racist police officers, if they detect even 1% of any type of racist behavior, they need to be immediately let go. Immediately. Like, if you are not a police officer who is able able to, you know, coincide with all different types of people because that is your job, you need to get the hell out. You need to get the hell out. This isn't slave time anymore where you running around trying to imprison slaves because you're mad that they're free. This isn't the 1960s, the 1970s, hell, this ain't even the 1990s anymore, okay? Nobody's gonna be sitting up there dealing with it, that type of stuff. People will record you. And then if you actually think about it, right, his whole argument was that, oh, well, she was in the police, she was in at the beach after hours. Well, she was trying to walk away with her dog and leave as instructed, but then the young lady said that he was making comments like, you're going to jail, you're never going to see your dog again. And then that's when the whole tussle came about. But obviously there were other people at the beach for him to be even recorded from a whole nother direction. You see, she was recording too, but there was other people. She says there was other people at the beach. I wasn't the only one at the beach. Just so happened somebody else who was also on the beach that you weren't harassing was recording you. So it's time for y'all to wake it up. Black folks are not going to be bowing down to that type of behavior. And that doesn't mean anyone's going to be aggressive. That just means you're going to be put on Front Street. And that goes for the Karens as well. So that moves us forward into Eric Lurie, right? Eric Lurie. And this situation happened January of 2020. And just like a lot of situations, they don't surface until a year later or what have you, for the most part. And this black man, I guess he was, you know, in the police car. They suspected that he had swallowed some type of drugs or whatever the case may be. Instead of going to get an ambulance, calling 911, calling emergency, doing the protocols that they were trained to do, instead of doing any of that, they were hitting them upside the head, telling them, wake up, bitch, slapping them upside the head. At one point, they actually put like some type of like billy club in his mouth. Take a look.
They helped murder my husband. I knew that already. I didn't learn anything different.
Family members say investigators with Joliet police played a 20-minute video, an extended clip of minutes. Joliet PD showed the fam 3 camera faces blurred and say there was no audio.
Now, this goes to show like how bad the hate runs deep, because you're assaulting a man who's unconscious. He's not a threat. Same thing, you know, with the knee on the neck. At the point somebody's no longer a threat, why are you hitting him upside the head? Is that CPR? Why are you calling him a bitch? Is that CPR? I guess CPR is when they took the billy club or whatever that's called and stuffed it down his throat. I guess that's what CPR is. And it resulted in a accidental death. Right. But what blew everything up is when a sergeant, this particular sergeant, he is a person of color, Hispanic descent. I'm not sure, the details of his ethnicity, but he was the whistleblower. He states that he was disgusted by the video, that Joliet police were trying to cover it up. And guess what happened to him? He got fired. They say he's on leave, but he got fired. He got fired for speaking up. I guess it's that blue code. If you go against the blue code, they're going to ruin your life. They're going to try to do anything that they can. Isn't it just like the story that we spoke about in previous episodes about the lady who spoke up about the black lady who spoke up about police brutality and they also let her go too? It's no different from that. So when anybody speaks up, it's an issue. Take a look at what he had to say.
I can't think of anywhere where I was taught CPR or in the academy where you slap a man, call him a bad name, cut off his airway, go for his throat.
Lurie, a 37-year-old father of 3, was pronounced dead later that night at a hospital.
There is a problem. There's clearly a problem. I don't even need to say there's a problem. We already know it's a problem. Especially people of color already know. Like, it's crazy to me when you have, people other than people of color, like, I didn't even know racism exists. Or they try to justify, well, so-and-so should have been compliant. There is a problem. And for those people that don't think it's a problem, you are the problem. Because I bet you those police officers don't think it's a problem either. They ruled it an accidental death, and then they tried to cover it up. They tried to cover it up. So now his wife is suing the city of Joliet. And just like Nikita Brown, who's also suing the city of Chicago, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. But these stories are becoming so frequent, I'm not even surprised about them. Like, there's so many times, guys, that I want to speak about, like, did you guys see this clip? Or did you guys see that clip? But it's so repetitive that not only is it not surprising, but until we see some type of change, to keep basking in, that just basking in that is not doing anything for us. I don't know. Maybe we should speak on it. I mean, maybe we should be speaking on it more. I just see, like, these clips go viral. And so, to keep sharing these clips over and over, or to keep talking about, it over and over and over again, it's like what? But there's no resolution. So we can talk as much as we want, but there's no resolution. And I really, really appreciate people like Killer Mike, because one thing that he said that actually resonated is, it matters for us to vote locally, as it relates to judges, your local judges, and, the people that, like, locally, as far as, like, what's going to have effect on your community, senators, governors, district attorneys, different things of that nature. Those are the votes that truly, truly matter. So I don't know if that's the solution, I'm just a black woman concerned about my black children, and I know the adversities that are here. So you guys let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think would be, that you feel like things are, that would be a solution. I know we talk, we hear a lot about police reform, taking money away from policing and actually putting it into education and different things like that. But in my eyes, I definitely think that there's benefits to it. But if the people at the top, as of right now, if their way of thinking, if we still have racist cops, if we still have racist judges, if we still have racist governors, then that educated black boy who graduated from college, who just wears black skin, that you look at like a thug, like the Ahmaud Arbery's, that young man just working out and just running down the street. Like, you're still going to look at even an educated person. Well, you're going to look at a black educated person more of a threat. But the fact of the matter is, when you look at somebody, you don't know if they're educated or not. you're stereotyping. And at the end of the day, I think 2 and 2. It would be 2. For me, it would be both. The police reform would be beneficial in giving back to the community so that we can, help our babies thrive. But on the other sense of it, these higher up officials definitely need to answer. Like, they definitely need to answer. Like, this goes, above, the mayor. This goes above that. Like, we need to have people in office that's going to support people of color, period. So you guys tell me your thoughts. I love to hear you guys' comments. Please let me know what you think. So let's move into the Black business shout out. Black business shout out. Black business shout out. Got that Black business shout out. What? Okay. I was getting a little ahead of myself. As far as the Black business shout out today, what I actually want to start doing, one thing that I noticed just by doing, these podcasts and doing these Black business shout outs, a lot of the Black business shout outs that I give a shout out to, they have been restaurants, they have been, beauty products, hair care products, skin products, and all of that, which is, great. Black folks, we love to, look good. Like, that's one thing we like to do, right? So I'm still going to be promoting that. But what I want to put more of the emphasis on are the Black businesses that we don't think of. And those Black businesses are important, right? I've seen this documentary real fast. I just want to say this. I've seen this documentary that Killer Mike did on Netflix. And basically he wanted to spend a certain amount of time, I think it was a week, I'm not even sure, where he wanted to basically only buy Black, right? That was from Black food, literally to the point where he went to the Black-owned grocery store, but even the food that he got from the Black-owned grocery store came from, farmers who weren't who weren't people of color, right? So it made me think about all the things that we take for granted. Like, if we really went on this hiatus where we only buy Black, it would be pretty hard, just as far as, certain essentials that we don't even know about, right? And then even like the foods we eat, especially if you're in certain areas. So I wanted to talk about, start to emphasize more on Black businesses that, like I said, that you don't think about. One in particular would be True Laundry Detergent. This is a Black-owned laundry detergent. The website will be in the link below. And basically, this is a Black-owned company where it was actually founded by 3 Black men. They're based out of Atlanta. I think they were founded in 2012, but Black-owned laundry detergent. So I thought that was pretty dope. Definitely go check out their website. And if you want to start just transitioning into buying Black and just increasing the Black dollar, Black economy in general, that definitely would be one that you want to put on the list as far as trying to transition. I definitely want to try it out for myself. So I will be ordering in that, and I will be letting you know how it was. So take a look at that. The second Black business that I want to give a shout out to would be Figures Communication. Figures Communication is a Black-owned cell phone company. Now, I know people are true to their AT&Ts and to their Sprints and to, their Verizons. I know people are, true to that, right? But again, in the transition on trying to buy Black, if you're looking to, transition into buying all Black or buying as Black as you can, that's definitely something that you may want to take a look at in the future. So take a look at their website. This is the first and right now the only Black-owned cell phone company. So take a look at that. Lastly, I want to give a shout out to one of my besties. Y'all know her, Renee. She's actually going to be opening up a Black body contouring, a Black-owned company. Obviously, she's Black. I don't even know why I said it like that. But it's a body contouring spa, like a spa. She will be opening up her storefront very soon. And when I have that information, I'm going to give you all the details. She's remodeling, getting everything set up, and I'm just so proud of her because she's doing everything that she said that she was gonna do. That is that Black entrepreneur spirit that I love about her. So really, I just want to give her a shout out just because she's dope. And when her store opens up, I'm definitely gonna be shouting that out every rip. Okay. But with that being said, I just want to say thank you as always for coming back and listening to me talk and rant and listening to what I had to say. Like I tell you guys always, go beyond the limit of the sky, and also remember to like, share, and subscribe, and peace and blessings always.